Are we good? I think we're good. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is United versus Everybody. I am your host, Sean, and bit of a bonus video today. I know I said yesterday that I wasn't maybe going to have a whole lot of time unless there was some big news coming up. But we have had a bit of news today, so I wanted to make sure that I stopped by just to get your thoughts, share a bit of my own, and basically just chat a little bit. Like I said, I know that there could be some news tomorrow. Tomorrow I will not be here unless it's sometime in the evening because it will be in that class tomorrow. But we'll catch up this weekend, I promise. Don't forget, as you can see down below in the ticker, we do have the big video on Saturday going through the squad one by one. Who fits in Ruben Amorim's system, who doesn't. We're going through the players one by one. I want to get your thoughts on all of that because it is going to be an interesting show. But after that transfer stream I did yesterday, I took some time to look at the options and I wanted to make my picks. I didn't make my picks yesterday because I think what I wanted to do was wait for you guys to kind of get involved, hear your opinions on everything, and then kind of think about it a little bit. So let me know if you've gotten your picks from yesterday real quick. I want to see what everyone's saying. Danny B in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Slashes Snake Pit. All right. I dig it, man. Finally managed to catch another live. You know what? I'm thankful. I'm happy to have you here, man. Welcome back. So as far as my official list goes, though, full disclosure, I did mistakenly omit one player from the list that I meant to put in. Sorry, I'm just fixing this a little bit. So I will let you guys know, and you'll see it as soon as I put it in there. But I simply just forgot to move those slides into my new, because they were slides from an older video that I forgot to copy paste into the new video. And it completely slipped my mind with everything I had going on this week. So without further ado, I will let you know what my 5 picks were. Now, I know we went through 5 positions and looked at a lot of different players for those positions, but here are the ones that I ended up landing on after you guys gave me a little bit of help. So let me throw those on there. So these are my 5 picks. All right. I've got Ousmane Diomande, Sporting's current center back. I have Sverre Nipan, a young number 10, plays for Rosenborg in Norway. Their season ends shortly. He could be available very, very soon. He's a good young attacking midfielder. We've looked at him a few times, and I love the look of this guy, if I had to be honest with you. I know you guys do too. Make sure I'm down here in the chat so you guys can see me. Angel Gomez, I put on there. If you guys remember, we spoke about him. So he knows the club. He is available on a free this summer. And again, this part of me was looking at financial stuff, prioritizing different positions. And I think that Angel Gomez being free is a no-brainer. Could get him for super cheap in January. And then Johan Bakayoko and Diomande are probably my bigger money signings. And if you look at some of the other players, you'll see why. And then if you couldn't figure it out by now, the player that I completely forgot to put in the stream yesterday was Alvaro. Obviously, academy product, came through the academy, went on loan, and then he's now at Benfica. We sold him for like $5 million. The reason I put him on there, again, he's a very good player. If you look at his numbers at Benfica, it's like 80, 90th percentile in pretty much everything, even defensive numbers as well. And we have a buyback clause. So he would be like half the cost of a lot of other like wide players, left backs, left wing backs, whatever you want to call them. He would be like roughly half the price of what you're going to pay for any of those guys. So those are my picks. Let me know what your guys' picks were, and we will go from there. But those are my picks after taking a little bit of time to think, after spending some time yesterday with you all, kind of going through some of those and seeing what you guys thought. Danny says, good choices. Thanks, man. I mean, again, it's not about this is what I think is going to happen. It's not about who's anyone being right or wrong. It's just about like, this is just, that's just what I think. Some players that I like, some players that I've been looking at, some players that some of them we have been linked with, looking at costs involved, looking at, contract situations, all that kind of stuff. So those are my picks. You guys have yours. Let me know what they will be, because we are going to move on for the rest of the show. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't yet. Don't forget to subscribe. You guys, as you can see by the ticker, we are on the road to 2K. You guys are absolute legends. We're over 1,800. We're getting there. Maybe we'll get a few more this weekend on Saturday's show. But let's move on. So as far as the transfers go, that was a fun video to make. I had, you guys know I enjoy a bit of scouting, and I do like chatting with you guys about scouting and transfers and targets and all that stuff. So let me know, and we will keep moving on. What do we got here? Danny wants to get some thoughts in. Danny, we know you love you some Mastantuono, my friend. Same as you, but put Franco Mastantuono in there somewhere. Yeah, I think there's room for a lot of people. We made a lot of money last summer selling some homegrown players, some academy players. We're still probably going to be struggling. We have some players who could be leaving, as we're going to talk about today. I do like Mastantuono. Again, I think there's two things that clinched Nippon for me. It was price, because Mastantuono's price keeps going up. And then it was first team experience was the one that clinched it for me. I think Nippon's just a regular starting 11 player. And I think he's just got those minutes under his belt. I think that both could come in. If both came in right now, if you put both, I think that of the two, Mastantuono will probably be the one to go maybe spend some time in the academy for a hot second before joining. I think Nippon would probably spend a little less time, but that's just my opinion, but I could be wrong. But yeah, Mastantuono, there, like I said, there was no wrong answers. It comes down to preference at the end of the day, but we are going to move on. Yeah, Nippon plays as an 8 or more. So I really like the way Nippon, if you've watched him, he gets in the final third, he just has this eye for a pass. His passing rhythm is just kind of off. It's kind of like watching like Odegaard or something, where he'll pass the ball kind of in between strides sometimes on his weaker foot, on the off foot that you don't expect it. I really like what I see from Nippon, but all good choices in my opinion. That's why I have him on there. You guys let me know. So moving on to some news. First bit of news tonight comes from Martin Ziegler with the Times. So he wrote a piece earlier today, and he's reporting that Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, and United have lodged legal notices reserving the right to seek a payout if Man City are found guilty of serious breaches. Now, of course, if you've been following along in the last year or so, City were accused after a leak from Der Spiegel, 115 charges. I think it was more as of a couple months ago as well. Various different things. A lot of it has to do with where revenue is coming from. A lot of it has to do with paying coaches like Mancini under the table and whatnot. These are a lot of the charges. Some of them are dumb, like grass length, and it is what it is. But hey, if it's like Al Capone, who got brought down from tax evasion and nothing else, then I am here for it. So these clubs have taken the step of formally registering possible compensation claims via arbitration before potential statute of limitations deadline. So basically, there was a deadline for when they could file these charges. So these notices were served after the four clubs were advised by their lawyers that there was a potential 6-year statute of limitations dating from November 5th, 2018. So November 5th, 2018 and November 5th, 2024. So they got those in. And so interesting to see. So Ziegler continues and says, although City's alleged rule breaches date from 2009, the 1980 Limitation Act's 6-year period for legal claims for breaches of contract in the UK allows an exception where that breach has been concealed. That's where the 6-year period came from. So there was an exception because those information was concealed by City. So if the charges against City are proven to be true, if City are found guilty, basically, clubs could claim for loss of income for missing out on the league title, qualification for Champions League or other European competitions over the course of several seasons, which could total hundreds of millions of pounds. Remember, we've spoken about this a little bit before now. I haven't spoken in depth about the City charges situations, mostly because it's not my club. So the amount of time I'm going to invest in looking into that is not really worth it for me. But that's also why I haven't spoken about it, because I don't put enough time in it. I don't know as much as maybe a lot of City fans or maybe even some of you. So I don't like speaking on things I don't know about. But what I will speak on is the fact that what this is talking about, the fact that there are clubs who are seeking legal action based on titles or the European spots that they could have missed. This is what we have spoken about. And this is what I've spoken to like Justin about. You guys remember Justin? It's like there are clubs who've been relegated, clubs who have missed out on titles and the revenue from that and the trophies for that. There's clubs who missed out on European competition qualification because of City, if they're found guilty. These are clubs, and we've talked about it, could have a basis for some sort of claim. And I bet there will be some clubs way down in Championship who are going to have something to say about it as well. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I know we were supposed to hear an update this month as far as what City's situation. I've yet to hear a whole lot. If you guys heard a lot, you guys let me know if you've been looking into it a little bit more. But what would you like to see happen if City are found guilty? Justin, you guys remember Justin? This dude is a savage. He wants everything. He wants scorched earth on City. He wants titles stripped. He wants fines. He wants relegation. He wants transfer bans. He wants European bans. He wants it all, and he wants him to be sued. And I'm like, that's a lot. I'm just like, just take away their titles and like the records that they have for like Haaland's scoring record, De Bruyne's. Just take all of that away, and I'm happy. Like, you don't have to relegate him. I don't need him to be fined. I don't need a transfer ban. Just take away all the titles that fall within this time period, or put an asterisk next to it. And honestly, you could even just null those seasons altogether if you wanted to. It really doesn't matter to me. Take away City's title or Liverpool's title while we're at it as well. Slash's Snake Pit says there's a documentary on YouTube called Football's Biggest Scandal. It tells you everything about the case UEFA brought against them. What channel is that? Let me know what channel that is. Because I know a lot of people who know a lot more, like Kieran Maguire has written about it. The Swedish Rumble has written a lot of those. These are really good outlets. Kieran Maguire, as far as football finance is concerned, is one of the best. I've got a couple of his books back here as well. Danny says, ban them, full stop, then start from Conference League again. I want the titles taken, though. I want that treble gone. I want all the league titles gone. I want the Champions League gone. I want Haaland's goal scoring record gone. I want the Centurion gone. I want De Bruyne as assist. Just take away trophies and records, and I'll be fine. Like, if we like ban them is one thing. It'd be interesting to see what happens. I know people are going to whine about, well, it's not the player's fault. It's not the player's fault. No, it's not. But then that is the City and their owners and whoever, if they're found guilty, who've made those decisions, will bear the brunt of the blame and the responsibility for the players being punished in that way. This is the way it works. Patrick, hey, how are you, my friend? Good to see you again. Welcome back. We're talking about City right now. We're talking about the latest and greatest announcement today that United, Spurs, Liverpool, and Chelsea could sue City if they're found guilty. And could be due compensation. So I'm getting everyone's thoughts. Right now, we're just trying to see what everyone wants to happen to City. So I've asked what everybody wants. Oh, it's Britain's biggest football. Okay, cool. All right, I'll look that up when I'm done here. Yeah, thanks. I'll check that out. Danny B showing the love. So this is what you want to happen. So what do you think will happen? That's a different question altogether, right? There's one thing to say, like, I want this to happen or this could happen, but what do we realistically think is going to happen? Part of me thinks that because the league last season was going down so hard on Forest and Everton, part of me wants to believe that was them kind of making a point, making an example, setting a precedent. There was very little precedent for this before all this happened with City. And a lot of what Forest and Everton had to deal with were some similar charges. One of them were, the FFP breaches. But then I can't remember which one it was. It was Everton or Forest. You guys can help me out. Who was punished a little more because they were not being forthcoming with the information, which is a big part of what City's charges were. Slash's Snake Pit says, should be relegated, but probably will be fined, unfortunately, on points deduction. And here's the thing. So if they're found guilty, and even if they're found guilty and they're only given a fine, basically, they're still guilty, which means that everyone in football is basically not going to count anything. They may count it on paper. They can sit there and say, we have this many titles. But if they're found guilty of any of this, even if like one charge sticks like that, then everything is called into question and everything automatically gets an asterisk. I mean, it all has a fucking asterisk as it is. But if they're found guilty, then everything is called into question. it's kind of like this whole referee situation, this David Coote situation. And Danny, speaking of, I did finally see someone did a photo of him snorting a little something something with a dollar bill or something. That was messed up, bro. But on that, it's like, it doesn't matter if you can prove or if it's anything is legit that David Coote had any biased decisions against Liverpool. The fact that it's now the question is out there, it just takes away all this legitimacy for a lot of people. So City get found of even a couple of these charges automatically takes away any legitimacy in my opinion. So, and that's not me being a bitter. That's just me just being realistic. If you're down for it, though, I told Justin on the phone the other day, if City are found guilty and the hammer drops, I will legit make a trip over to Manchester just for the purpose of tailgating outside the Empty Hod and celebrating. I will buy the drinks if you guys want to join me. If you guys are up for it, if City are found guilty, we will set a time. We will set a date. We'll park it right in front of the Empty Hod. We'll get some tailgates. We'll get some beer. We'll get some food. We'll make a whole day of it just for the banter. I will literally spend thousands of dollars to fly over there just for banter. I don't care. Danny B says, I didn't even know that till an hour ago. I just knew by the look of him he was out of it. That's the thing. David Coote always kind of has that like look on his face, right? Like John Benet Ramsey's dad or something in photos. It's hard to tell if that's just the way he looks or if that's just the way he cooks, if you know what I'm saying. Slash says Michael Oliver needs to be investigated. Michael Oliver, see, it's hard because we talked about this the other day when this news came out. I'm never going to be one who's going to cry conspiracy. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm not a Liverpool fan. It is what it is. But Michael Oliver has some sort of a weird inferiority complex. I don't know what his deal is, but that dude he's a diva. He loves to be the star of the show whenever he's in a match, man. Danny B says, so Danny's a constant substitute. Just the baseline. His baseline is just up here. He's just constantly high. All right. But anyway, yes, if City are found guilty, who's in for a tailgate outside the Empty Hod? We'll set a time. We'll set a date. We'll all meet up. We'll all hang out. I'm down. I'll buy the first round of drinks. I guarantee that. So you guys let me know. We're going to move on. But in other news, our Portuguese Magnifico, our captain, Bruno Fernandes, he made the news this week after helping somebody in need, potentially saving a life on a flight. So the story is Bruno was on a plane. I think Diogo Dalot was there too. And was heading to the back of the plane to go to the toilet when he noticed the fellow passenger was passed out and in need of some medical assistance. So he notified the staff on the flight. He helped this individual to an empty chair nearby, and he sat there and remained with him and his family and the staff while everybody got everything back to normal and assistance was provided. So, and then he was nice enough to take a selfie. Him and Dalot took a selfie with the guy and his family. Oh, captain, my captain. Bruno, big up. What a superhero. Guys are still going in on Oliver. Oliver makes more money from City's owners in the Premier League. It's definitely a conflict. Yeah, I didn't remember. Didn't he go referee some match for them or something? Now that you guys are reminding me of that. See, a lot of this information, when it's not United related, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. It's kind of like cramming for a test. I put it all down and I want to talk about it for a video, but as soon as the video is done and it's not a United thing, it's just out the door. So Danny V says, Bruno. Yeah, how crazy is that? But anyway, on Bruno, there are some stats that have come out this week that I wanted to remind everybody of because there are still people who don't rate Bruno, and I'll never understand that. So obviously he scored against Leicester on our last match ahead of international break. But that goal now puts Bruno above Eric Cantona as United's 27th all-time goal scorer with 83 goals. He's just 2 goals behind David Beckham. Let that sink in. The guy 2 goals behind David Beckham. In fact, according to Statman Dave, Bruno has 156 goal involvements in just 250 appearances for the club. He's got 83 goals and 73 assists. That is insane. And again, there are fans who don't rate Bruno. I'll never understand that till the day I die, how people cannot rate Bruno. It's just bitter. I think part of it's Pogba fans. Half of it is just rival fans. Like, I just don't get it. I think some of it is the older fan base who don't like his attitude. I'm willing to see past the attitude. I'll criticize it, but I'm willing to see past it if the guy's going to put up numbers like that and consistently do it. Yes, he's got some flaws in his game that I'd like him to iron out. Everybody does, but I can't deny the numbers. Like 156 goal involvements and 250 appearances is insane. And the big reason why people don't like him is because of those numbers have completely shattered this whole Premier League proven nonsense that people want to talk about. It shattered the whole English media's insecurity about the Premier League being like the best league in the world. This guy came from a league that nobody rates and just has destroyed it since day one. Like, and the media can't handle it. The pundits can't handle it. The former players can't handle it. And this is why they go in on him. They can't handle it. So you guys say, what are we saying here in the chat here? Danny says, I've been critical of him a lot since end of last season, but no hate there. When he's switched on, he's classy. Yeah, when Bruno has a good day, we all have a good day. When Bruno goes missing, it kind of starts to fall apart a little bit. Yeah, he's a little bit rash at times. We can criticize him for that, but at the end of the day, Bruno is just one of those players who not only can he put in 89 minutes of garbage and then turn up with magic, but he's one of the few players on the pitch in that moment who can pull off that bit of magic that like no one else can do. Whether it's a Trivela pass a lot, whether it's a first time ball, the ball's coming to him midair and he'll take a quick scan and then meet it on the volley and perfectly find Garnacho like he did the other day. Like no one else on our team is doing that. And so Slash's snake fist says, I'm an old bastard and I love Bruno. I mean, if you're Slash for Guns N' Roses, you might be old. I don't know. I'm old too. I call myself old and I love Bruno. So who knows? So big up Bruno, big up our superhero, our captain, our Portuguese Magnifico, helping a brother out on the plane, snapping that selfie and making sure everyone is okay. Taking care of everybody on and off the pitch, even thousands of miles in the air. Bruno is helping people out. So getting the assist. That's what we like to see. Moving on to a bit of transfer news. So Jack Talbot has reported that United are monitoring Bournemouth left back Milos Kerkez. This isn't the first time the 21-year-old has been linked to United. I actually forgot he was 21. I thought he was still only like 18 or 19. So he was on my list the other day. I ended up taking him off at last second. So remember earlier this season, Ineos had that meeting to discuss future transfers and transfer windows and the whole structure moving forward. Kerkez's name was reportedly mentioned in that meeting, along with Rayan Ait-Nouri. Remember, we talked about him yesterday as well. What are your thoughts on Milos Kerkez? I like the look of him. I think he's got the speed, he's got the pace, he's got the power, he's good size. He's got energy to burn. The dude has like 3 lungs. He's up and down the pitch. He's still raw. I think he's still got some smoothing out to do in a lot of areas of his game. If I had to say right now, could Kerkez start for Man United week in, week out? I'd probably lean more towards no, but that's just me. I still think he's just a little bit raw. But you guys let me know. I thought, like I said many times, I thought Kerkez looked great in the Euros with Hungary. I thought he had a really good Euros. And I think he's looked better this season as well. I'm starting to notice him a bit more. Maybe that has a lot to do with Areola coming in and Bournemouth doing really well overall. Maybe Kerkez is just developing at a fast rate. I don't know, but you guys let me know. Danny says he's come along a lot this season. Watched him 5 or 6 times now. He'd be up there. My first choices. He's up there for sure. I think compared to how we've been doing at left back. I mean, otherwise Mazraoui. I mean, Mazraoui is the best left and right back in football for me right now. But would Kerkez be able to come in right now, start? Would he be the difference maker? Would he be the needle mover in terms of getting us up the league table? Would be the difference maker in helping people feel better about maybe a Europa League push, going into Champions League maybe next season? Would he be a difference maker, do you think? That's the kind of where I'm at right now. Obviously, we're not going to get there for a couple of years, but to me, there's no point in spending money on players who don't improve the squad, players who don't improve us on the pitch. And the question is, does he do that? Does he do that right now? Danny says, I think yes, brilliant. Well, you know what? The eyes have it. I'm going to go with it. So, again, it's coming from Jack Talbot, nothing definitive, but it's not the first time we've been linked with Kerkez. So we've spoken about him a couple of times on the channel. I like him a lot. I need to watch a little bit more Bournemouth. I don't have as much time as I used to watch all the games, unfortunately. Most of it is because I'm gone to go to Loaded Dice Brewery to hang out with Detroit Red Devils. So it takes a while for me to get back home. So I'm not able to always watch all the games anymore. So you guys let me know what you think. Another player that Talbot has reiterated Ineos's interest in is Jared Branthwaite. Everton are still reportedly holding out for 70 million. I just Is there something I'm not seeing with Jared Branthwaite? Can you guys let me know if there's just something I'm not seeing? He's not even played every single match this season. Like 70 million for Jared Branthwaite. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because I just don't see where the 70 million investment is on Jared Branthwaite. You guys got to let me know because it's very frustrating for me that this guy is getting so much hype. Danny B says his defense side got solid. His end product is good. I think he has an assist or two. Yeah, what I like about Kirke's, going back for a second, is his at least when I watched him in the Euros, he has an eye for like an early pass, an early ball, which I like, especially if we're going to be playing the way we might be playing under Amorim. I think it's good to get an eye up, see the opportunity, and get that ball away. Danny says no thanks to Branthwaite. Slash Snake Pit says Branthwaite isn't any better than Maguire. I think Branthwaite to me is just a younger Maguire. In all honesty, I think he might have a higher ceiling than Maguire, but I don't think he's worth 70 million. I really don't. This to me just reeks of Everton needing money and welcoming a sale, but not wanting to have to sell too many players. They already sold Amadou and Onana in the summer. They don't want to sell many players, so they're trying to minimize how many players they're going to be getting rid of. He's not worth 70 million. What it is I think this is a big United tax. They saw how much we spent on Harry Maguire, and they think that Branthwaite is worth it. He's just not. It's just not going to happen. Danny B says, I studied him a lot. He cannot play a high line. He doesn't have enough pace and doesn't play in a possession-based team. Yeah, he just looks like a younger Harry Maguire whenever I've watched him. Even at PSV, I didn't see much from him. Not a great progressive passer. Rarely dribbles out from the back. Always out of position, usually not even in the box when they concede. Yeah, he looks like one of those guys because he's not fast, because he's still young, and like you're saying, if he gets caught out in the high line, he looks like one of those guys like he's gonna go up and make a challenge, maybe because he's young or maybe he's not fast. He's gonna miss the challenge, and he's got to track back. Now you can get away with that sometimes if you have pace, like if you're a Mickey Van de Ven or something. But when you're slow, you can't go out and make those kind of high challenges. You have to give away a foul. You have to make that challenge. You have to hope that somebody behind you will come up and clean up after you. And I just don't see that from Branthwaite. It's just a kind of a perfect storm of negatives for me. So I just don't see it. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because I think it's maybe partly because he's English. I don't know, but you guys let me know. Good in the air. That's about it. Well, I mean, we have De Ligt for that now, don't we? Because De Ligt is already like bossing it on these set pieces, and I'm absolutely here for it. If we get Bruno and a Casemiro link up on these free kicks when we put them in the box, and we get like a Eriksen and a De Ligt combo on corners, then I think that's chef's kiss action right there. So sticking with Talbot, he has also reported that we might see two potential outgoings in January, in early as January. He claims that both Antony and Christian Eriksen could be allowed to leave the club in January. So on Eriksen, Talbot says that if the right offer were to come in for Eriksen, United would be open to letting him leave. Now, his contract is up. He gave that interview last month saying that no one's really spoken about a contract renewal. Doesn't look likely it's going to be extended. What do you guys think on Christian Eriksen? He's been great for us. Obviously, he missed the last couple of weeks with some injury. We got him for free. He was a free agent. What would you think? Make a bit of money if someone wants to buy him in January, extend his contract even for another year because he's been playing pretty well, or let him run out his contract and just hold on to him for the season because it's better to have him than not to have him. Like if we sell him, we have to replace him. Like it's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So I think that there's an option there. I mean, Angel Gomez, you guys saw my picks earlier on the stream. Angel Gomez, I think, comes in and is an immediate replacement. But what are you guys saying? Campuala will be better than Branthwaite. Don't get me. I'm so annoyed that we sold Campuala. Like, we're going to be possibly without a few center backs in the summer. We have three that could potentially their futures kind of all up in the air, which leaves us with only three fit center backs. Campuala if we could have just stuck him around, if Ineos had some sort of like foresight, we could have done this better. But Loran rumors, don't know if it's legit though. Yeah, I did see some of those linking us with that Flamenco midfielder, potentially a swap deal with Anthony. Everybody likes to throw out the swap deals, but they don't really happen that much. Slash says, definitely made Kambwala look like a beast. Kambwala, he looked really good, and then he had a shaky game, but he's an academy player. Like, I liked him, and like just the way he was bigging up the crowd, the way he was getting stuck in, like that's what we want, that's what we celebrate. And we don't have a ton of defenders coming through right now that I like the look of anyway. So keep let go in the summer. We're talking about Eriksson. Yeah, great player, Kambwala. Everybody's agreeing on Kambwala. Of course we are, because he was really good. I haven't even been watching. He's at Valencia, right? Is he doing it? Is he at Valencia or Villarreal? I can't remember which one is which. Slash says, hopefully let him develop in Spain, get some game time. The man activate the buyback on Kambwala. Yeah, and we could be playing a bit of a blinder. That's also why I put I forgot to, and I added today Alvaro Fernandez to my list, because that buyback could see us save a lot of money. So as far as I'm concerned, if somebody offered some money for Eriksson, I would be open to it in January if we replaced him. Sekou Kone went off injured yesterday in the under 21s match. Malacia got a first half appearance yesterday for the first time in like a year and a half. Sekou Kone going down is a bit of a bummer, because now I feel a little less secure. But we do, if Eriksson leaves, we need a replacement for Eriksson. Mount is back fit, but is Mount a like for Eriksson? I don't think so personally. But Kukone, yeah, I've seen Kukone mentioned slash as Villarreal. Okay, yeah. I could never remember if it was Valencia or Villarreal. Then he says, having a good season for imports. Good. Well, hopefully he continues to do well. We can throw out that buyback clause someday. Again, it's going to be up to him, though, if he wants to come back. Same with Alvaro. So we'll see what happens. Danny B says, if we get Nipan, let him go. Kone not ready yet. I have a sneaking suspicion, Danny, that we could make a serious push, though, for Mastantuono, for your boy, because I think that Ineos are looking hard at the best. Who's the best young up and coming players? We did that with Vilni Euro. Nobody saw that coming. Even when we were linked, I did not see that happening, because it's Madrid. They needed a defender. He probably would have gotten a lot of minutes this season, because they don't really have depth in that position. And if Baturina is reportedly refusing a move to Madrid because they are pretty much stacked in that position, we could see a serious swoop for Mastantuono. The links don't go away. Isn't their season up soon anyway? I think that there's an opportunity there that if United really want this kid, they think he's one for the future, I wouldn't put it past us to make a swoop in January. So I know that you're probably bricked up hearing that, but we'll see what happens. So on Anthony, though, Talbot claims the purchase of Anthony is seen as a disaster by Ineos, and he'll be allowed to leave on loan in January in order to get some minutes and maybe increase his value ahead of the summer. Even if Anthony is sold in the summer, even if he has an excellent loan spell someplace, we're not getting anywhere. Even if he goes and wins a Ballon d'Or at 6 months someplace, like, and wins a Champions League with where we're not getting anywhere near what we paid for him. You might as well have just burnt that money, honestly. I'd be surprised if we get more than 20-25 million for Anthony if and when we do sell him, personally. But Danny B says, Mastantuono better than Laurent Franco, generational talent, changed the game when he came on for River Plate this weekend. Nice. Yeah, Danny, like the Mastantuono gives me vibes of the Lenny Yoro situation. Simply because it's Ineos. I think, whereas if Mastantuono, if this was like I don't know who you want, James Rodriguez, like 4 or 5 years ago, and there was a situation like that, that would be someone that I think like Woodward and the Glazers would be going for. Like, honest to God, if Woodward and the Glazers were still making decisions, I feel like Pogba would be a United player right now. But I think that the links are not going away. This new system relies heavily on 2 players in that position, and Ineos are really wanting to build for the future, and they're identifying who they think is best young up-and-coming talent. I would not be surprised, personally. So Slash says, so glad we're not buying players based on Instagram followers. Yeah. I don't know why we just didn't fire the scouts. Like, we fired all these people at the corporate level. We fired all these coaches. We need to fire the medical staff. We need to fire the scouts, because the scouts have been just non-existent for the longest time. But you're absolutely right. I 100% agree with you, my friend. And then finally, let's all wish a happy birthday to Lenny Yoro. He did turn 19 today. It's looking more and more likely that we're going to see him back in action soon. Whether or not the match against Ipswich on the 24th is too soon or not, we're going to see. I wouldn't be surprised if he made the match day squad, came on for the last 10, 15 minutes or so. I'm excited to see how he works under Amorim. I'm excited to see how Amorim develop him. It's great timing that he's starting to get back fit right at a time where we're implementing a back three system maybe. And I'm given by what we've seen from Amorim and the young center backs he's worked with at Sporting, I think the sky's the limit for this match. So let me know if you guys are excited for Lenny Euro. Hit that like button if you're excited to see Lenny Euro back in action. We haven't seen him since preseason. One of the highest rated young center backs in the world right now. We'll see how he does with Amorim. They looked like they were getting on pretty well when they met earlier this week. So again, let me know what you think. Because I think having Garnacho, Martinez, Ugarte will help us get him a chance to go straight into first team. Unlike at Real, he would play with reserves. Yeah. Real Madrid just bought Bellingham 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. They picked up the Guler kid from Fenerbahce, right? They still have Brahim Diaz kicking around down there. They've got Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde, Modric. They don't need any more number 10s. They really don't. They'll be lucky if they can hold on to Rodrigo this summer. So I think Madrid are not as flush with cash as they want people to believe, personally. And I think that's why we're seeing them hold out for some free signings like Mbappe, who, again, no such thing as a free signing, but even if you would have paid a transfer fee for Mbappe, you would have still paid, all this other shit that they're paying for. The Alphonso Davies rumors, Trent Alexander-Arnold rumors. I read earlier a rumor that Nacho might come back because they're in need of defenders after Militao pretty much is done for the season. Carvajal's season was done. Remember, Madrid they're struggling a bit. I don't think we're going to see. I think Carlo's done at the end of the season. I don't think we're going to see them win a whole lot. I think this season Champions League has got Barca's name written all over it. We'll see what happens in La Liga, though. It's anyone's guess. Danny B says, Real in for Heto now, Sean, I read. Well, I hope that it's not too soon for him. Obviously, he's very good. Obviously, we talked about him yesterday in that video. He was one of my options. I think it might be a little too soon for him to jump from Ajax up to Real Madrid, but he's still only 18. But we will see. I mean, isn't Sergio Ramos a free agent? Isn't Marcelo a free agent? Just get the whole gang back together for what it takes. Bring them back, let them fill in for a few months, and at least let them limp to January. So that is going to do it for me tonight, guys. I appreciate everybody joining the stream again. I won't be here probably at the soonest Friday if there's any news. Probably going to wait till Saturday, though. We'll see. Don't forget to come back for that video. We're going to go through that squad. Like I said, the current United squad, who fits the system, who doesn't, what are you guys' thoughts on some of these players? How do you see them fitting in the system? All this stuff. So we're going to hopefully have Dylan and Joel here for that one. You guys remember them from the all-time 11 video we did last month. So going to have some guests. It's going to be fun. We are doing that giveaway. The shirt's over there, so I'm not going to get it, but you guys have seen it. It's a 2022-2023 home shirt, size large, brand new. It's awesome. It looks excellent. We're going to be announcing the winner of that giveaway. So best way to get yourself involved in that giveaway is get involved in the channel, involved in the community. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, get involved in the comments, get involved in the chat, put your name out there, and we're going to go from there. So thank you, everyone, for stopping by tonight. Danny, did you go to Boca? Interesting. So thank you to Danny. Thank you to Patrick and Slash's Snake Pit. Was there somebody else way up there, I feel like? No. All right, cool. Thank you guys for stopping by tonight. I appreciate it as always. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will hopefully see you guys Friday, maybe Saturday. That Saturday for sure, but maybe Friday, depending on what's going on. But you guys have a good night. Everybody's showing the love. I will see you guys on the next one. Later.